fantasy, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Hey guys, what's going on? Underground Geek here. So I want to do this review because some people have been asking me to talk about the books more, and also there's a new issue coming out today, so it makes sense to catch you up so that you can just go right into the store and get the new one. But here's the deal. Ragman is one of those series that get more and more fun like every issue. Now, the fight scenes are a little on the bland side because they do this thing where they do the fight scenes while they're telling you a story. So it's kind of like the fight scenes are just there so that the dialogue doesn't seem so boring. And the book that I'm writing, I don't know, after reading some of these books, I'm wondering if I'm doing the writing wrong, because when I'm writing a book, I want the fight scenes to be the focal point. So I'll have the dialogue, have them say things to one another, you know. But for the most part, the fight scenes are the focal point, almost like an anime or something. So that's what I'm trying to do with my book, is big epic fight scenes with lots of violence and things like that. And in this book, it has some of that, but for the most part, it's talking. So if you don't know about this is a new series. It's Ragman. It's a 6-issue miniseries. They've revamped the character. They've revamped the design. They've changed things up a little bit, and the art is really good. Now, after looking at this series from my computer digitally, I can tell that that's what they were going for. That's where they wanted you to see these books, was digitally, because it looks a lot better on a computer screen than it does in person. But anyway, we have this issue right here, and what's sad is I was in such a hurry to read this issue that I didn't look at the cover enough to realize that Etrigan was on the cover. And so, you know, I kind of glanced over it and then got into it, and then when I got inside, the best part about this book is when Etrigan shows up, and then it totally shocked me, totally surprised me. I was like, holy crap, there he is. Because they draw him and he looks ferocious, and bad guys are scared of him, so it's awesome. So anyway, this story is very, very cool, very fun, because it's almost like a Spider-Man Venom series. You have this hero that's kind of a dark hero. He's a war veteran, he's been through a lot of stuff, and he's hunting down these demons and absorbing them as they're committing crimes and hurting people. And he still doesn't know anything about what's going on. He got this ability, he got this suit from an ancient tomb. Pretty much his whole team was killed. Some of them were absorbed by the suit, so he can talk to them. And every enemy that he absorbs, he can talk to them as well, and they help him. It's kind of like a mind control thing. It absorbs their essence. And so he's getting a little bit stronger here and there, but he still really has no idea how to use this power. He knows the basis of the powers, and that's about it. He knows it gives him strength. He knows he can move the rags around. That's about it. He knows he can absorb the bad guys. So he's going around doing this, taking all these bad guys out, but he has no idea really what's going on. He doesn't know why they're there. He doesn't know what's going on. And his dad's store was just attacked by 2 pretty ultra-grade demons. He took them down, and the dad is talking to him and actually feels bad about the demons, because he said that you could see by their nature that they were desperate. Something else was going on. And so they were doing that out of desperation, not out of evilness, even though that they're demons. And so then we get a fight scene here where we get this trace drawing of a cameo and a couple other things, and he's fighting these bad guys, taking them out. And then you get this dialogue where he's talking about, you know, he says, there's no peace, I'm tired, pop fighting all the time. But there's no choice. All my hopes, all my plans, I just can't get back to them. Not until this is settled. Not until the war lets me go. And he's speaking like someone that's a veteran. You know, the war followed him home. He's still fighting. And so the writer is Ray Fawkes, and he does a really good job. The artist is Anaka Miranda. He does a really good job as well. But I think the colorist, Ava De La Cruz, has been taking notes, because the first couple of issues was really bland looking. The color all went together, and you couldn't tell what was rags and what was the city and what was the bad guys. And so it seems like maybe they're taking notes, because this series has the colors amped up a little bit more, which I really like. There's some trace drawings. There's some more fighting. We get a cameo by Batwoman that shows up and pretty much, discusses what's going on. And here's what's so funny. She sees this guy that pretty much looks like a monster. And her first instinct is to talk to him calmly. Now, of course, she's been watching him. They've been surveilling him. But she goes up to him and she just says, "I've seen you stopping these things from hurting people. I don't know what they are, but I know they aren't human. I don't know what you are either, but I can tell you're some kind of soldier, or you were. The way you fight, special forces? Tell me, this isn't some kind of turf war in Gotham. Tell me I don't have to take you down." That's just like a Batman to say that, but of course, you're a human and that's a supernatural entity. What are you going to do against it? But so they pretty much talk it out. And this is her, this is what she says. She pretty much says, "Well, I hear you. You seem to be doing all right so far. Just so you know, we'll find you if that changes. We're watching you. You're not alone." And then just leaves him. Just leaves him sitting there. And I was like, look, there's a supernatural entity attacking demons in the city. And you're like, oh, that's cool, as long as you don't hurt nobody. I thought that was kind of funny. So then we get, they're talking more about his backstory. Every now and then we'll get an issue where they'll show a bit more of the backstory. We get the introduction of an old teammate that was dismembered due to a error made by Ragman's character. He gets a second chance by getting absorbed by a demon. And then in this case, he's attacking another demon again. He thinks he's pretty much beat him. And then the demon fights back. And at that point, we get an issue where the old teammate shows back up and fights him. The teammate is now a souped up demon, more so than the other demons. And like I said before, Ragman is not in control of his powers. He's not at that point yet where he can use anything below like base level powers. So this demon shows up and is on a whole different level than him. Hurts him, blinds him where he can't see. And then the fight pretty much takes a one-sided approach. And it's at that point where he says, the bad guy says, go ahead and, but the bad guy tells the lower demon to summon the gate, to fix the gate like he was doing before. Ragman had showed up and he tells him, hey, it's damaged, I can't get to work, it's pretty much running on its own. And then that's when we get the sense that something else is happening. He said, something else is trying to channel the gate. It's coming. What is it? The lower demon explodes. And that's where we get this awesome freaking image of Etrigan. And he has ripped the guts out of this demon and summoned himself somehow or something. And the souped up bad guy soldier actually says, you aren't my lord. Stay back. And that's when the Ragman fights back. Etrigan gets a hold of the demon thing and shows Ragman how to use his powers a little bit more, and he's almost like, like when they have those safari TV shows where they show the mama lion and the baby lion, and she'll make the baby lion go attack something, and the prey will try to get away. And she'll grab it and throw it back to the baby and push the baby and make him attack it, and get it. That's almost like what we're getting here, because Etrigan has every chance to defeat this demon. And he actually, has him in a chokehold and just releases him. And just tells Ragman to attack him, and finish him off. And so then, that's what happens. He fights the creature, is finally able to defeat it by going about it a different way. And then we get the conversation back and forth with Etrigan and the Ragman. And this is the thing about Etrigan. He's there to help, but at the same time, he's almost like he's still a demon. He could turn on you, just for fun. But at the same time, something, that they have a common goal right now, because there are these huge monoliths hanging outside. There's demons everywhere, and now Ragman can see it with his demon sight. And then you get the whole nother perspective of this is why Etrigan is here, because he sees a good fighting potential in Ragman, and he knows that he needs him as an ally. But at the same time, he's kind of laughing in the back of his mind, like, I am a demon. I could just eat you, And it's one of those things you need to remember about Etrigan. He's a lion. You don't mess with him. And that's why he is so cool and so omniscient. He's a really cool side character. He kind of reminds me of Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo was always really cool because he was very ferocious, and he also defended his friends when need be. But he was a rogue, and he didn't need help from anybody. He could fight a lot of villains on his own, and so that's what he kind of reminds me of. But Etrigan is very cool. I'm very glad that they put him in this as a teacher for Ragman, because this has potential to have a series after the 6th issue is done. Now, I don't know if there's a lot of people reading this because he's such an odd character, but Ragman is very underrated with this new series. He's very much like a Venom character. But they need to speed things up a little bit because we're in issue 3. But I think Etrigan being here is going to amp it up. I think you're going to see a lot more action. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. So there's a new issue coming out today. It's issue 4 of the 6 issue series. And I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be fun to see the bad guys that he fights, because you can do anything with this. Ragman has all these demon villains that he can fight. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the DC world other than the occasional cameo by the Batman character since he's in Gotham. But he can fight supernatural. He can do anything he wants to do. So you have a lot of potential to have a side story here. And maybe later on you could tie him into one of the Batman books and he could help him fight some kind of supernatural creature. There's all kinds of things you could do with this. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. That's all I got, though. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, I'm doing my videos a little bit different here. I'm trying not to tell you the whole story. I'm trying to tell you the basis of why this book is good, so that when you read it, you could, you can still be excited about it. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Underground Geek out.
I wish I knew you when I was young.